So hello guys, and welcome to another video, and in the calm before the storm of the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal, I wanted to talk about a game that I have been really enjoying lately. Some of you have been correct to assume that I have been obsessed with it, because I am, and it is Antonblast. This game is absolutely incredible, and I highly recommend it if you haven't played it already. I'm sure most of you have heard of it and know that it's, like, pretty heavily inspired by Wario Land 4, but it's much more than that. I mean, yeah, the Wario Land 4 inspiration is great. I really like the structure of the game and everything, but it is so much more. Like, it takes inspiration from, like, quite a lot of different games. Not just Wario Land, but also, like, Crash, and even, like, Sonic a little bit, and Metroid, too, like, with the different, like, moves and like level gimmicks and different things like that. I could definitely see a lot of the influence there. The music reminds me a lot of Sonic CD. Specifically like Bomb Candy Mines. You probably heard it playing on my last video if you watched it. Some of you have even pointed it out to me. But yeah, I just love the music in this game. Like, it takes a lot of inspiration from a lot of things, but I just noticed for some of them, it kind of reminds me of, like, Sonic CD a little bit. But yeah, I could definitely feel, like, that inspiration there, and it just overall, like, the gameplay, presentation, everything is great. Like, going into the presentation again, I love the visual style as well. It kind of has, like, a GBA-esque aesthetic with it, kind of similar to like Wario Land 4. Also, like, it does take some like notes from like the SNES and PS1 as well with its aesthetic. I would say kind of like a mixture of like the GBA, PS1, and SNES. I would say it kind of reminds me of like those three aesthetics, I would say. I mentioned PS1 as well, since like some of the developers involved with this game did take some inspiration from the PS1 era, like I already mentioned with Crash, but with like other things as well. But it just has a really cool aesthetic, kind of like late 90s, early 2000s-esque. And it reminds me of like a lot of cartoons from that era as well. But yeah, I just love how the game looks, how the music is in the game, and the gameplay itself is just amazing as well. It definitely takes some notes from Wario Land 4, like I said, but it just, like, it kind of feels unique, too. It kind of has its own feel to it, and it is definitely one of the best controlling 2D platformers I have played, and best controlling 2D games as well, kind of, like, up there with, like, Metroid Dread, kind of like looking at like 2D games as a whole, I would say. This game actually even took some inspiration from Metroid Dread as well, so I can kind of see how that like went into play here, but yeah, it is just so satisfying. It was like a little tricky at first, and there definitely is a learning curve to like learning this game's moveset and kind of getting used to it, and like kind of learn how to do different things within the level with it. You also have like little transformations within the levels too, like you have like a ball that you can roll into and like a tornado and a bunch of others, kind of like Wario Land, which is pretty cool. And there's also like an element where you can kind of go into the background to do things, which kind of reminds me of Virtual Boy Wario Land, which is really cool. It's really cool seeing that game acknowledged, because that is really underrated. I've actually played it on the channel before, like a couple years ago. I did a stream of it, and that game is surprisingly good. But yeah, like, it is just a very well-designed game, I would say. Like, the level design is really good. Like, there's a lot of, like, hidden collectibles and things, just, like, a lot of things to do within the levels, like, a lot of really fun mechanics as well. It's, like, each level feels unique, even if some of them use similar aesthetics. Like, they all have their own kind of theme to them. Like, there's one where there's, like, a pinball gimmick. I know that one isn't, like, the most popular, but it still is, like, pretty fun, I would say. And then there's also like one where you go into a mall and you have to do like 4 like different missions to get like the switches and everything to open up the vault. That one was a bit weird at first, but like it's not required to go through like all the areas. That's just like in order to like get the like more poker chips and everything. And then, like, there's even one that's, like, where you have to, like, activate this giant mech as well, and that's, like, the happy hour segment. Oh, yeah, and the happy hour segments, they're kind of like the hurry up or pizza time segments from, like, Wario Land and Pizza Tower, respectively, where you, like, activate a switch and have to get, like, back to, like, a certain point in the level. But those are always really fun and kind of transform the level in different ways, and I just really enjoyed it. Like, just overall, like, almost everything about this game is amazing. Like, there's even, like, little cutscenes that have voice acting as well, which are just really fun, too. But this game is great. Also another thing, the collectibles. Like, there's a lot of collectibles hidden in the level, and then there's also, like, ones that you can, like, buy in Brulo's shop as well, where you can kind of, like, customize Anton and Annie, like, with different, like, spray cans. Those are really cool, since there's, like, a ton of references in them. Like, there's, like, references to, like, different Nintendo consoles, like the Virtual Boy, or, like, the Game Boy Color with, like, the Atomic Purple one. There's even, like, some crazy ones, too. Like, there's, like a Breaking Bad reference for one of them, and, like, of course, there's, like, a couple, like, Wario-themed ones. I think there's also probably, like, a Crash Bandicoot one as well, but there's like, even, there's, like, Sonic, SpongeBob, there's, like, they reference, like, a ton of different things with these spray cans. It's really cool. But, yeah, this game is just jam-packed with, like, fun things to find and fun things to do. It is just absolutely incredible, and I would say it's probably one of my favorite platformers. It's definitely up there, I would say. But yeah, I absolutely recommend checking this game out. Like, there is no excuse not to. If you have a computer or a Nintendo Switch, you can play this game. I wish it was on more consoles. Hopefully it does get ported to more consoles at some point. But at least we know that it will be compatible with the Switch 2, since that has backwards compatibility. But it's only $20. That is a really good price for this game, since it takes, like, about, like, 10-ish hours to beat. Even more if you're, like, going for all of the collectibles in, like, one perfect run. That's gonna take even longer, but there is just as much, if not more, content than some $60 Nintendo games. So there is definitely a justification to buy this game at $20. Like, it is definitely worth the price. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!